Alright, so I'm going to talk about results and why you're not getting them. So often in fitness, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, whatever the goal, people focus on just one area, and you have to think of getting results, whatever they are, as like a three-legged stool. I mean, you cannot stand with two. It's just not going to work. So you have your nutrition, you have your recovery, and you have your training. So the training is going to lay out what you're doing, what muscle you're putting on. You're not going to grow your calves training your biceps, so you're training for the specifics of what you're after. The nutrition is the building blocks to that. So if you're training, balls to the wall, but you're not eating, you don't have the nutrients to get any growth in. So you may even actually get some muscle loss if the nutrients are low enough. So you want to make sure that, obviously that's adequate too. And then the recovery. So this is obviously going to be rest, hormones, etc. But if you don't have this, you're only as good as you recover from. So if you're training 3 hours and you can't recover from that, well, it's not working. And let alone you have the nutrition. Well, the nutrition's off. That's not going to work either. So I like to think of it like kind of like building a house, right? So you got the workouts, the training. That's the blueprint. You got the recovery. That's your workers, and the nutrition is obviously the materials to build it. If you have the blueprint to build a mansion, so you're up there just killing these workouts, all the recovery is in check, except the nutrition, you have the materials to build a cottage. You're never going to build that mansion. Likewise, if you're training like a damn pansy, but you're overloading on the nutrition, well, therein lies the problem too. So you're going to end up storing things because you just got too much material for the plan you laid out. And you'll see it one of two ways, and you don't see it as much anymore. I see a lot more people, under training. I'm not a huge believer in overtraining. It's hard to do how most people train. It's more or less a lack of nutrients in there. But it can happen. Rare, more like powerlifting, CNS, PNS fatigue, things like that. So nowadays you get that most people are actually, in reality, probably undertraining and overeating. So the problem is I think people greatly underestimate what the human body is capable of. And so likewise, a lot of the training programs out there don't necessarily push, and these bodies will adapt to just about anything you'll put at them. And obviously it's not all adaptation via muscle gain or increased metabolism, etc. It's sometimes you can just get a strength adaptation that CNS becomes more efficient, so you're not necessarily firing or creating bigger or more muscle fibers, but you're creating how efficiently the ones you have do, increasing those neural patterns. So strength isn't necessarily an indicator too. You have to train for hypertrophy or hyperplasia. Either one, you want to make sure you're training to put on the size there. And if you're not doing that, you're not training hard enough to tell the body, hey, I need bigger muscle cells, or maybe I need to, it can't happen, but I need more muscle cells. Well, then it's going to have no reason to do so. So you have to make sure that everything is it's dialed. You're not going to get the progress if you don't train hard. It's not progressive. If the nutrition's off, low, if you're training too much and all that, and if the recovery's off, if you don't have those three things, your results are going to show it. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care how hard you train or how clean you ate. If you don't do both in conjunction with the right amounts, it's not gonna do shit.